boys and girls. Good morning, or is it good afternoon? Whichever it is, I want to welcome you to our very special story time today. I am so incredibly happy to see all of your bright, beautiful, smiling faces looking back at me. Before we open our magical storybook today, let me introduce myself. My name is GLEA1052 from Lesson 1. Today's story is a famous old fable called The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. But in our story today, our country mouse has a beautiful name. Her name is Alice. And our city mouse has a very cool name. His name is Oliver. This is a story about two best friends who lived in two completely different places and they learn a lesson they will never forget. Are you ready? Let's open the storybook right now. Once upon a time, in a beautiful land far away, there lived two little mice who were the absolute best of friends. Their names, as we know, were Alice and Oliver. They did absolutely everything together. They talked together, they shared their secrets, they played hide and seek, and they loved each other very much. But even though they were best friends, they lived in very different worlds. Alice lived in the quiet, green, peaceful countryside. Everyone called her the country mouse. Alice's home was a tiny, cozy little house hidden safely and snugly beneath the giant roots of a massive ancient oak tree. Around her house there were endless green fields, bright colorful flowers that smelled like honey, singing birds, and a sparkling river where blue butterflies danced all day long under the warm sun. Oh, what a beautiful sunny morning. Look at the blue sky. Today is going to be another wonderful, happy, peaceful day in the countryside. Alice loved her simple life. Every afternoon, she would take her tiny wicker basket and walk through the fields to collect her food. She picked fresh, sweet, juicy red berries from the bushes, crunched brown nuts from the ground, and sweet yellow corn from the nearby farms. Life was simple. Life was very quiet, and Alice was very happy. Now, far away across the high hills and down the long concrete roads, in the middle of a massive, busy, crowded, bustling city, lived a best friend called Oliver. Oliver was a town mouse. Oliver lived inside a grand, expensive, gigantic brick house with shiny flashing lights, gold furniture, and tables piled high with the most luxurious foods. But the city was never ever quiet. No. It was always so noisy, day and night, all day long. Big cars and heavy trucks went beep beep, horn horn, vroom vroom. People rush past, swoosh swoosh. Big dogs bark, woof woof, and sneaky cats prowl around. It was incredibly loud. Though they lived so far apart, the two friends never forgot each other. They wrote letters to each other every single month. One sunny afternoon, Oliver heard a loud knock at his grand front door. Knock knock. It was the postman with a letter all the way from the country. Oliver opened it up. and it was an invitation from Alice. Before Oliver leaves the city, let's stop right here for our very first quiz. It is pop quiz time. Boys and girls, I want to ask you an important question about friendship. If your best friend invited you to come over and have a sleepover at their house, would you go? Let's see. The very next morning, as the bright sun was rising over the city's skyscrapers, Oliver got ready for his big trip. He brought out his tiny, fancy little suitcase.
Okay.
Let's see what the city mouse packs for a vacation. He packed a small, stylish hat, a cozy wool scarf, a little piece of delicious city cheese for the road, and, of course, a beautiful gift wrapped in a shiny red bow for Alice. Then he started his long journey. He walked, and he walked. He walked past the tall buildings, past the noisy concrete roads, over the hills, and finally into the wide, open, green fields of the countryside. It took hours and hours. The sun was hot, and Oliver was so tired. My feet hurt, he said. Finally, he saw it, a large, beautiful oak tree in the distance, and standing right under the tree was Alice. Alice saw him from far away. Her eyes became as wide as saucers. She gasped with pure joy, and she started running. Oliver! Oh my goodness, you are finally here. You actually came to visit me? Oliver stopped. He stepped inside the little house under the roots and he looked around. He looked up at the ceiling. He looked down at the floor. He looked at the walls. Everything was so tiny. Alice was so proud of her beautiful forest environment, and she wanted to show her city friend absolutely everything. She grabbed Oliver's hands and pulled him out into the sunshine. Morning, Mr. Rabbit. Wonderful day for a hop, isn't it? My goodness, Alice, everyone knows you here. The birds, the rabbits. Are you the famous superstar in the forest? No, Oliver, I'm not a superstar, but out here in the country, we are all neighbors. We know each other, we love each other, and we always protect each other. It's a big family. They walked a little further and reached a small, beautiful river. Wow! This water doesn't come from a plastic bottle, but it is so cool and so absolutely delicious. Alice wanted to give her city friend the absolute best dinner she could make. She carefully brought out her food and laid it out onto her small three-stump table. One by one, she placed the items. First, some hard yellow corn. Next, some crunchy brown nuts. Then, a few juicy wild red berries. And finally, a small slice of homemade bread and a tiny piece of country cheese. Alice sat down on her stick chair, rubbed her hands together with a big smile, and looked proudly at her dinner. But Oliver looked at the table. He blinked his eyes once. He blinked his eyes twice. He looked very confused. He expected a massive royal feast. Inside his mind, he was thinking, Is this it? Is this all the food she has? Where is the real meat? Where are the cakes? This is just dry seeds and wild fruit. It is food for bird, not a fancy city mouse like me. Please, don't be shy. Eat as much as you like. There is plenty for both of us. Well, it is certainly very fresh. Alice, thank you for cooking for me. But, oh, my dear, sweet friend Alice, if only you could see magnificent food in the city. My goodness, every single night we have a grand feast fit for a king. We have towering chocolate cakes with thick chocolate frosting. We have creamy vanilla biscuits, sweet apple pies, bowls of big juicy purple crabs, sugary cookies with chocolate chips, and big wobbly jiggly chocolate puddings that shake on the plate. Wow! A towering cake? Wobbly chocolate pudding? Really, Oliver? Is there really that much delicious food inside your house in the city? The very next morning, as the sun broke through the trees, the two little mice set off on their big adventure. They started walking toward the massive city. Suddenly, giant buildings appeared out of nowhere. They were so incredibly tall, they reached all the way up into the blue sky and blocked the sun. Alice looked up straight, and her eyes went wide. She looked up so high, and the noise was unbelievable. Cars, big trucks, and yellow buses were honking their horns angrily in the traffic. Oh dear, Oliver, it is so loud. What is that horrible sound? My ears are hurting so bad. After a long walk, they arrived at Oliver's grand city house. They sneaked inside, but they had to wait until it was very late at night. Psst, Alice, wake up! Look, the humans are asleep. Two tiny mice crawled out of their dark hiding hole, ran across the shiny floor, and began to climb up the giant wooden leg of the dining table. It was a very hard, steep climb for tiny mice. Up, they went, pulling themselves up until finally they reached the top of the table. See, what did I tell you, Alice? I didn't lie. This is the city life.
Wow! Wow! Yippee! 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 Yippee!
Slowly, in the quiet, scary darkness, they heard heavy, soft footsteps walking across the floor. It was a massive, terrifying monster black cat. It had sharp white teeth, long claws, and glowing yellow eyes that searched every corner of the room. Alice, run for your life! Jump off the table and hide right now! Letting out a massive loud relief breath. Oh my goodness! Thank goodness! The cat didn't see them in the dark shadows. It turned around, tail in the air, and moved out of the room. The danger was gone, but poor little Alice was trembling from head to toe. Her hands were shaking, her legs were shaking, and her heart was going thump, thump, thump. Oh. Don't worry, Alice. It's okay now. See, we survived. We are safe. Look behind us. That happens almost every single day around here. You get used to it after a while. Oh, come on. The cat is gone. Let's climb back up and finish that delicious chocolate cake. But before they could even take one single step back toward the stable. Stomp, stomp, stomp. The tall house servant walked into the room holding a giant broom to sweep the floor. The mice had to scream and run all over again. This time, they ran into a tight corner behind a heavy flower pot, crying and shivering with fear all night long. The very next morning, as soon as the first ray of golden sunlight hit the dining room window, Alice did not wait. No, no, no. She immediately packed her tiny suitcase, tied her cozy scarf, and walked straight over to her best friend Oliver. She looked at him with a soft, calm, and gentle smile. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for inviting me to your city house. Your home is truly grand, enormous, and beautiful. And your food, wow, your chocolate cake is the most delicious thing I have ever tasted. Then why are you packing your bag, Alice? Why are you leaving so early? The food is just starting. Don't you want to stay and eat more chocolate cake, cookies, and wobbly pudding with me? Two little mice ran to each other and gave each other one last big tight loving goodbye hug. Even though they chose to live in two completely different worlds, they promised to love each other and remain the very best of friends forever and ever. And Alice walked all the way back to her peaceful oak tree. That, my dear boys and girls, brings us to the very end of our beautiful story about Alice, the country mouse, and Oliver, the town mouse. They teach us a massive important lesson today that we should keep in our hearts forever. Let's repeat the grand moral of the story together so we never forget it. Listen carefully and say it with me in a clear voice. A simple and peaceful life is much better than a rich life filled with fear. Let's try it one more time together. Raise your voices as a simple and peaceful life is much better than a rich life filled with fear. Keep smiling, stay safe, be kind to your friends, and always be grateful for what you have. I will see you next time for another wonderful story time adventure. Goodbye everyone. Bye.